Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm a master's student in philosophy at Utrecht University. I'm considering doing a PhD after I finish my master's, thereby setting out to pursue an academic career. In order to find out whether this is something that suits me, I'm getting myself out there and talking to current PhD students I encounter at my university. I'm also lucky in that my older sister is currently doing her PhD in Egyptology in Germany. In this vlog and the next, I will be shadowing my sister for a week in order to get an impression of what it's like to be a PhD student living in another country. I always arrive at the station well before the train is supposed to leave. Unfortunately, this time that meant I had to wait a really long time because the train was actually 90 minutes late. So we were very happy to be inside a warm train and not have to wait in the cold anymore. Luckily, I did spend some time just sitting at the Starbucks with a hot drink, which is a real treat. I don't usually go to Starbucks because I think it's a little bit expensive, and at home I can make my own coffee. But on days like this, you just have to treat yourself a bit. If you recognize this little guy from anywhere, please tell me in the comments which movie do you think he's from. Unfortunately, we did have to get out at Keulen instead of Frankfurt, which was originally the plan. From Keulen, we took the train to Frankfurt and then we took a final train to Mainz. When we finally arrived at my sister's place, We had some nice and warm tea and we were very happy to be home. As you can see, it was already getting dark, so we didn't do much else that day. We chilled out on the couch, watched a movie. Unfortunately, the weather hadn't really improved, and spoiler alert, it wasn't going to improve for much of the week. But hey, we have to do with what we've got. Any master's or PhD student will tell you that coffee in the morning is an absolute necessity, and that you have to have your cup of coffee before you can even open any emails or do any work. So then it's time for part 2 of breakfast, which was just some nice hot buns from the oven and some tea. Since we were to be going to the office, I was going to bring some tea because there's a kettle there. So I just got some tea bags, and I also brought my new travel mug and just a banana to snack on. At my sister's work, there's this van at lunchtime from which you can buy either a hot lunch or a sandwich or some soup or anything like that, which is pretty affordable. So we got some sandwiches, and then I set up my desk, which was an empty desk of a fellow PhD student of my sister's who was already done with his PhD, but from the same project. So there was an empty desk, and I took that. I took out all of my stuff. Then I'm showing you around the office a bit. So it looks out, the view is not that exciting. I'm pointing to where my sister's place is. This is her desk. And during this day there was no one else in this particular office, but there were some other people in the other offices. Unfortunately, it was a bit cold. During this time, I was working on my proposal for this year's winter school. This is a yearly 2-day conference specifically for research master students. This year, there are some slots available for student presentations. In order to apply for one of those slots, you have to write a proposal in which you give an overview of your topic and your main arguments. Last year, the conference was held by my own department, and for me, it was one of the most memorable events of that year. My sister's office has a kitchen where you can make hot drinks. It also has a fridge where you can store your food. We were planning on continuing working, but unfortunately we couldn't find a cafe that was quiet enough for this purpose. So we did have a bit of a coffee and some really nice cakes in a cafe. Unfortunately, no studying, but yeah, you have to just adapt to your surroundings. I actually was an art student before I went to study philosophy, so seeing all these paints, it still makes me very, very happy, even though I don't use them as much as I used to do. Just looking at the colors and all the different paints and all the pencils and pens, and oh, it just makes me so happy. This is Apfelschorle. It's sparkling apple juice, and I always get this whenever I'm in Germany. So for dinner we had potatoes, salmon, and this homemade basil mayonnaise that my sister made. It was really tasty. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part 2 of the vlog.